Hey y'all, happy Monday. How are y'all doing today? I know I'm a little early. I typically will come live like around 7ish, but I have a meeting that I have to attend. So I'm like, let me hop on with the folks and catch up with them on this Money Monday. Did you catch my live stream, my Money Monday live stream? Today I'm talking about my journey, I guess you could say, with me going to the laundromat for 3 years. Yes, 3 whole years, y'all. I trekked the treacherous laundromat streets. And I thought it was a good Money Monday topic because it's more than the laundromat. Of course, that's what I'm talking about throughout the video, but it's really about the bigger picture of, can you sacrifice to get to where you want to go financially? And when I started out, going to the laundromat, it was because I couldn't afford the washer and dryer. I wasn't like on a financial journey, so to say. Sometimes we just don't do stuff because we can't afford it. It ain't got nothing to do with a financial journey. We ain't got it and I ain't have it. But as time went along, I was on a financial journey. I started in September 2020. So I actually, went, I looked up and 3 years had gone past. But yeah, the first year, I guess year and a half, I was just going because that's what I could afford. I would get my quarters, or actually I would just get cash. I'm trying to think, like, how did I do it before I started doing my envelope method? I would just get cash out, and then they had like a cash machine in there, so you could just exchange your cash for quarters. But as I got into my debt-free journey, then I would get my rolls of quarters from the bank, and that was just easier than having to worry about getting the cash. Then you got to put it in the thing, and then it reminded me that, hey, these are quarters for laundry. Like, don't spend them for nothing else, girl. But yeah, if you haven't, make sure you check out that video. It just premiered not too long ago at 6 CST today. So if you haven't, be sure to check out that video. My Money Mondays are something that I've started doing this year, and it's been going pretty good. Thank y'all for y'all support. I actually had somebody comment on a video from last week, and she was saying, like, I really like your content and I'm subscribing. So thank y'all. Every subscription counts. Every subscription means the world to me. So thank you so much. We actually just hit 1,400 subscribers, y'all. Oh my gosh. We hit 1,400 yesterday, and we're already like soaring past that. Several folks have subscribed since then. So thank y'all for supporting me and my channel. If you aren't subscribed, be sure to subscribe, share a video, like a video, drop your girl a comment, let me know what you thought about it. I greatly appreciate all that, and I try to respond to everyone. So thanks so much. But yeah, today I thought it was a good inspirational Money Monday, because a lot of times, I know for me, I needed to be inspired along my debt-free journey. I needed to hear people who, it wasn't easy, because it's not an easy journey at all. I needed to hear people who sounded like me, who, were working, their regular jobs, who were, adding additional jobs onto that. I needed to see like a real live practical person. And that's what I want to bring y'all just with Money Mondays. I want to make sure that, number one, it's real. Ain't nothing fake about the debt-free journey at all. And then I want to make sure that it is relevant, of course. And especially I want to make sure that it's practical, because it really, sometimes like you see people doing stuff and it's like, girl, that's a little too much. So I think it's really important for me to make sure that what I'm doing financially makes sense for the rest of the folks. And if you have questions just about any parts of my journey, be sure to check out my debt-free playlist. I also have a Money Monday or a Money Monday playlist as well. So be sure to check out those playlists. I've been trying to make sure that I have all of my subject content just kind of in one area. So if you are just looking for certain things on my channel, you should be able to find it within my playlist. So make sure that y'all check that out. But I know for me, like, I needed to hear inspiring stories, because you get to certain points, like when you be in the thick of it, where like you ain't coming out soon, you can't even make your way out around you. You need to be able to hear something inspirational. So I hope this inspires somebody. I hope it brings things in perspective, because it's really like the little things, or there are bigger things too, but your financial journey, it starts with the little things. It starts with something as simple as just going to the laundromat. It starts with something as simple as giving up eating out, on Fridays. Maybe every Friday you already know you ain't cooking because you finna go eat out, whether that's pizza, Chinese, actual sit down restaurant. That you're gonna go eat out, so maybe you give that up. It starts with the small things, and then the small things snowball into the bigger things. So yeah, I know I gotta look at my notes, so I want to make sure I don't miss nothing. But in the video I talk about FOMO too. So I honestly I had heard FOMO, but I didn't know what it meant until I started following like the Ramsey people, and I was like, oh, that's what that means. But if you were like me, child, FOMO means fear of missing out. So listen, FOMO was my life story prior to being debt free. I saw something that was on sale. Listen, can't miss the sale, fear of missing out. I saw something that looked like it might have, been the last one, or I just saw something that I wanted. I had a bad case of FOMO. Now I'm just like, it's hard for me to, get back into spending money. But FOMO is a thing in our culture, especially with the YOLO, you only live once, treat yourself, all of those things. And it's okay to treat yourself every now and then within perspective. If you on a debt-free journey, that means your treat is going to be very small, okay? I know mine's were, because you want to stay on track. But I think just with a lot of that in our culture today, especially amongst like the younger populations, like millennials and things like that, that's really like shoved down our throats. Like, girl, you deserve that. Girl, you need that. And it's like, no, you don't. You done had too much of that, okay? That's why you're in the financial position you in now, right? And that was me. So, FOMO is a really big thing, especially y'all. Oh my gosh, and I'll make another video about this, but it is so easy to finance stuff. I saw a little video of this guy, and it was like a funny video. Funny, haha, but not funny for real. And he basically was like saying, well, it was a screenshot of like his afterpay for like a chicken dinner, and it was like, I only got 3 more payments on my chicken dinner. I'm like, oh my gosh. But yes, guys, you can finance food, and I'm not talking about like groceries and stuff like that. No, just like going to like a fast food place. Some of these fast food places, some of these restaurants, you can finance your meal. My friend told me that. She was like, she was out eating at like a sit down place. She went to go pay her bill, and I guess it was like a virtual pay like system at the table or something like that. And she said she went to click it, and it gave her the option to finance her meal. And she was like, what in the world? Like, yeah, these afterpay things, listen, y'all, it is serious. Like, they are targeting folks. You should not be able to finance like a chicken dinner. Like, that is just absurd. Are you serious? And it's really going to hit people the hardest, like single moms, single dads, people who are just on restricted incomes. It's really going to hit those people the hardest, because they not preying on the people who can pay their bill, because they know they're going to get the money from them. No, they preying on the people that can't. That's what keeps this thing running. So with you just being able to finance literally anything, that fear of missing out like really kicks in like even harder, because like, oh, I'll just break it into 4 easy payments. Girl, ain't nothing easy about it. It's gonna be hard to get out of it. So with things like that happening in our culture, just making it so normal for us, you know, it is becoming more and more hard to get out of debt. I talk about that in one of my other videos. I've never done like the afterpay, like the Klarna and stuff like that, but I did do the PayPal credit, which is kind of like the same thing, like the buy now, pay later style thing. It's just PayPal's. And I talked about that, baby. That was on my debt snowball. I remember I financed a plane ticket. That's actually when I was moving here. I financed a plane ticket. I financed some Fashion Nova stuff. I'm trying to think. That's the main things that I can think of. The plane ticket and the Fashion Nova stuff. I think I got a pair of shoes and like some shorts and a shirt. Try putting them things right on PayPal credit. And that stuff is just like, it just add up so fast. Like I didn't have like $1,000 balance or anything like that. Like it was under 500 most likely, or it was. But still, it was in my debt snowball, and I had to pay that mess off. And I remember once I paid that off, like I canceled that so fast, and it was like, you know, and like you will try to cancel this stuff and it give you like all these messages like you're not going to be able to, you know, get back into something again. Like I think it was basically saying that, you know, I wouldn't be able to qualify for it again. I don't know, something along the lines of that, you know, trying to scare you. But I was like, cancel. Like that stuff is dangerous. It is addictive. It will steal your future. The fact that it's so easy should be a freaking crime. I think that's going to be, after student loan debt, that's going to be number 2 if it don't supersede it, because it is just a hot mess these days on how easy that stuff is. So, you know, it's important that if you know you got a problem with FOMO, to cut all of that stuff off, to really just remove yourself from it, and to just have the mindset that, you know what, I wanted to wait for what I want. I'm willing to sacrifice for what I want. And that's what I talk about in the video too. So I talk about sacrifice and what sacrifice actually looks like. So sacrifice, I know, you know, sometimes like people be saying they sacrificing, but no, you're not, girl. You just not doing it. It's not necessarily like a sacrifice, or maybe, you know, you just didn't do it that time or that day. But a sacrifice is continuous. A sacrifice is an actual mind shift. You know, you telling yourself, not only telling yourself, hey, I'm not doing this. Hey, I'm not eating out. Hey, I'm not financing stuff anymore. But you actually following suit with your actions. So, you know, it's a mind shift. It's you changing your behavior. And most importantly, like, it's uncomfortable. Like, it was uncomfortable to go to the laundromat for 3 whole years. Like, especially as I was, you know, getting on that last little leg of it, I was like, oh, I'm so tired of this. Like, I'm just over it. And it wasn't even that far. But it's just like, you know, you kind of have to schedule it into your day. Like, it's a thing. And some people, it take them a long time to do laundry. Like, when I would see some of the moms and stuff in there, girl, when I tell you they had basket loads full of clothes, I'm like, oh, I know y'all been in here all day. I was in that list. I was in and out in an hour. And I never folded my clothes there. I don't know what it was. I just was like, I'll fold clothes when I get home. And that's a whole extra step. And I'm ready to go. But I remember, you know, it just began to wear on me. You know, it's so easy, you know, just to get up out your bed and walk to where your laundry room is and throw that stuff in there, you know. But when you kind of have to make your day around it, you know, Saturdays for me was, you know, doing what I needed to do, but also always ending with washing clothes. And it's just like, oh, I just want to go home, you know, I'm ready to take a nap, but I got to go do something else. So sacrifice, you know, it doesn't feel good. Sacrifice is more than once. Like somebody in my comments on the short video that I made about this, they were like, dang, that was like over 1,000 times. I'm like, yeah. And then that got me to thinking, like, are you willing to do something at least 1,000 times to make a change, or to remind you that, hey, this is where you was, don't go back there? You know, are you willing, whatever that number is, well, you know, whatever, and of course it's a high number, but are you willing to do that? You know, you got to be willing to sacrifice something at least 1,000 times in order to get to where you want to be. And I think that's just like a really strong message, because it takes sacrifice. That's the first step in changing anything outside of money. behavior, whatever. Like, you have to sacrifice something. And it doesn't mean that you're always going to have to sacrifice it. Like, yeah, I sacrificed for 3 years. Now, guess what? I walk right to the front. I put my clothes in there. I close that little laundry door and I call it a day, So at the end, it feels so good. It's a journey, right? And it reminds you of where you started. It reminds you of where you ain't going back. It reminds you of what you're willing to do to get to where you need to be. Not just to where you want to be, because I think for me, like, yeah, being debt free, I wanted it, but I needed it as well. You need financial literacy. You need to be able to, work at your career and bring your check home to you or your family, and not to all these other people so they can give it to their families and build wealth off of you. Like, no, you need, to be able to be the financial person that you want to be. In my opinion, that goes with good moral character, is you need to know what to do with money. Like, nobody wants to be with anybody who doesn't know, what to do with money. I know I don't. And, there was a time when I probably was that person, especially when I was not making good financial decisions. But now, I'm proud to say, like, I am the person that I want to be. And of course, I'm still growing. There's things that I want to save for. There's things that I want to buy. And that's one thing I like about the financial journey. Like, it's an ever evolving journey. Like, you definitely, you keep going. You don't just stop at being debt free. That's the, first step. That's a great step. But, you keep going and you're able to get there quicker. Like, I'm amazed at how easy it is to save for stuff. Like, listen, you think you saving money, you ain't saving nothing until you debt free. Because just how quickly you can save, how much you can save, you be like, wow. Like, you be like, oh my gosh, like, that's how I am. I'm just like, dang, that only took me, wasn't that long. And that's what, working towards good financial principles teaches you. It teaches you how to obtain a goal in the amount of time that you would like to, obtain that goal in. So yeah, you got to sacrifice. I think another important point is to keep going. Like, don't give up. Keep going. You got this. You can do this. And I think that's a very important thing, because so many people are always like, oh, you ain't never gonna be debt free. You always gonna be. No, you always gonna be something, but not me. Speak that over yourself, not me. So, it's important to just remember, keep going. Like, yeah, we have hiccups, we have bumps in the road, things come up, that's natural. But keep going. Don't let it get you down. Don't let, somebody tell you, something that they can't. And the reason why they telling you is because they see you doing something that they want to do and they can't. So, don't let people, try to throw you off of your journey. And I think it's important, to make a decision. Like, hey, I am not doing XYZ anymore financially. I'm working towards doing this. Like, make that active decision to do so. And that's what's going to help you to get to where you want to go. So, I know for me in my journey, I'm always going to keep y'all up to date. I'm always going to share with y'all the things that I'm learning, especially if you're somebody who wants to just know more about personal finance, about financial literacy. Definitely drop down in the comments and let me know a topic. As y'all know, I'm coming every single Monday with various topics, but I definitely want to know, what do you want to know about personal finance? What do you want to learn? What are you trying to apply in 2023? What is your financial goal in 2023? I want to know that. Be sure to drop it in the comments. And maybe I'll make a video about it. I think it's important to always have something that you're working towards. Listen, whether it's you saving for that washer and dryer, whether it's you trying to get out of debt, whether it's you, just trying to do something financially that you haven't done before, or that somebody told you that you couldn't. We all need to be actively working towards that goal. I know that's what I'm doing. If y'all know, well, if you watch my channel, you know that I follow the baby steps. So I am on step 3B. That is saving for a house. So that's one thing that I'm working on this year. I've, been looking at some resources, kind of see like where do I want to land, what exactly, what type of home do I want. That's something that I've really, kind of been thinking about more and more. And as I go through that process, I'll definitely keep y'all up to date on that, because that is a whole process in itself, child. Whew, Lord. But yeah, y'all, I went to the laundromat for 3 years. I did. I'm glad it's over. Shout out to everybody who is still going to the laundromat, who is still at the laundromat. Keep going. Keep going, okay? Let that tiredness, let that, being irritated with waiting in lines and stuff. And I never like had to wait in a line like for a machine or anything. But let that push you to get to where you want to go. Because it's those little things, like it's those feelings, like we've all had that feeling like, oh, I ain't never doing this again. We've all had that feeling. So let those feelings like push you to where you want to go financially. Let those feelings, kind of drive your financial process, because that's another thing too. Like, as you're working towards your financial goals, like you gonna get, lots of bouts of irritation, anger, you might feel stagnant at some points, impatient. Let those feelings drive you to get to where you want to be. Use those to be able to say, next year or in 6 months, guess what? I'm not going to be here at this time. You let it dictate how you're going to work your process. Now, don't let it drag you down and things like that. I'm not saying that. But let it, just inspire you. Let it push you. Let it motivate you. Because, yeah, you need motivation on this journey. You need motivation. You need inspiration. You need all the Asians, okay? In order to get to where you want to go. That is so, so, so important. I would also say, like, really look at why you're doing this. Like, that is so important. I was talking about this last week with somebody. I'm like, you got to figure out why you want to get financial, whatever financial goal it is. You have to figure out why you want to get there. Because, some things are just not enough, you know, because somebody else want me to do it, because I saw this person do it, because somebody told me to do it. Like, no, you have to figure out why. Like, why do you want to be debt free? Why do you want to save more money? Like, what is that tied to? Because in the times where it gets hard, and of course it will get hard, like that's what's going to push you to your next level. So it's important for you to think about that and probably write it down. I never like wrote down my why. I think it was something that always stayed with me. But it's important for you to, be able to pull that out of you when the going gets tough. Like, I'm trying to think of like a time where I was like, oh, I can think of something. When I was washing clothes. So I can think of a time where my why really is what took me out. I was traveling like on a weekly basis. I was on a dig. So this for like 4 weeks, I think. I was traveling Thursday. I would get home on Thursdays, get my little bag, go to the airport, and that was for like 4 weeks straight. And I would come back on Sunday to go to work, and then do the same thing again on Thursday, like traveling. And it was like really, really hard. But because I didn't have a washer and dryer, that means when I got in on Sunday, I had to go and wash clothes instead of coming home, taking a shower and relaxing and like getting myself together. And I just remember thinking like, girl, you got to do what you need to do. And I was debt free by then, yeah, because I was in like October, November. But I was kind of putting away money for my emergency fund. And I was just like, oh my gosh, like, I gotta pull on whatever I can pull on to get this emergency fund where it needs to be so I can get this wash and dry. And guess what? Now that I think about it, that November, like, is when I got it. Like, right after, like, that happened is when I was like, I remember that last time I went, I was like, whew, this is the last time I'm going. We gonna call it a day. And I remember that night I went home. I think it was a Sunday night too. I went home, or Saturday. I purchased that washer and dryer, and that thing was here several days later. And listen, it's been going good ever since. So, we can all think back to that point where we was like, something got to shake, because this is not where it's at. So use those experiences, to really just push you to where you want to be. Don't fold. Don't give in too easy. You don't know how close. Sometimes we don't know how close we are. Like, you may not know how close you are. So keep going, and pull on people too. Like, if you are having difficulty, find the people who are doing what you want to do, and ask for, just some advice, some tips, some motivation. Like, don't feel like you have to do it, alone. So reach out to those support groups. I actually was thinking about doing like a little Facebook group, but I was like, I don't know. What y'all think? Like a little debt-free group? I'm not quite sure. I'm a part of one on Facebook right now, and I like it. I post like my little things in there. I will answer questions or add comments on people's stuff, and it's a good, like, motivating environment. So find those little groups like that. Maybe I'll start one. I don't know. But yes, if you have not checked out that video, be sure to head over and check it out. It is live right now. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think about it. Follow me on Facebook. You can follow me at Miss Dugan Online on Facebook and Instagram. You can also follow my personal Facebook at Alexis Dugan. I interact with a lot of y'all over there as well. And check your girl out in the shorts. I'm going to post a little cheesy spaghetti recipe I made today that is so good. So y'all be heading over to my shorts, and I may make a dessert tonight. I was supposed to make a dessert last week, but I didn't. But I'm thinking I may make a dessert tonight. So we'll see. Y'all check me out over there. And I'm going to see y'all later. Bye.